Right, can you see that? This is just an example. This is a tweet that was on John Mappin's Twitter page, and I found it and shared it on Facebook. I screenshot it, credited him for it, and put it on Facebook. The reason I'm showing you this is it's just someone who's put that notice in the little plastic thing in either a newsagent's or a convenience store, and it says, polite notice. Customers are reminded that these newspapers are merely the opinions of a small group of billionaires desperate to influence public opinion and are not 100% factual, reflecting reality. Please cross-reference everything that you read. Thank you. I mean, whoever's done that, that's brilliant. But the reason I'm showing you this is everybody is wondering how to fight, how to push back. What can we do? Well, I'll tell you what you can do and what you're already doing, and you're not really probably seeing it. Every single comment, every single share, every single retweet, every single verbal conversation with another that you have regarding what's happening is worth something, and I'll tell you why. I put that on my Facebook page. Facebook's a lot slower a burn than Twitter. Twitter's like ram bam, Twitter is breaking news and it's quick. I put it on my Facebook page and it's got 120,000 views, no problem. Put it on, Twitter. I put it on Facebook expecting, a few, and I noticed it had 3,400 likes. So I went into my analytics to see what the reach was, and the reach for that one post was 68,000 people on Facebook. So all those people that bothered to share on from my post, because it's always set to public, this is the kind of effect you can have. You don't need to have a big following. You don't need to worry about the fact people don't click like, because I've got analytics, because it's a professional page. It's not monetised. I haven't monetised it because I've been on Facebook a long, long time. The analytics show me the reach, which is how many people have bothered to see it. 68,000. It's probably more because that was sometime yesterday when I had a look. So it's probably gone up since then. So what you've got to look at is, whilst you've put it on your page and none of your friends have responded, or you don't think they're taking any notice, somebody somewhere is. There are people being converted to seeing what's going on. They're bound to be, because this government is getting so crippling that everybody's being affected by them. We've just lost a £1 billion trade deal because Angela Rayner has opened a big fat gob again, Proud northerner and basic instinct enthusiast. There's a comedian does that as a tagline. She's dead funny. She has just cost us £1 billion investment from P&O. Have decided not to invest in Britain after she'd come out with more guff about taxes and other bloody ludicrous stuff. So they're not getting anywhere with this. They're in power and we've got them for 5 years, yeah, we know that. But at the end of the day, industry's against them, the unions are against them, generally the people are against them, their own voters are against them, celebrities are against them. This is a fight where we are gaining ground all the time. So what we've also got to look at, what I'm conscious of with a few bloggers and people who set themselves up to do what I do, which is inform people, there's this puritanical streak within whereby if you haven't got cancelled, you haven't tried hard enough. Well, I don't agree with that, because once you're cancelled and you're on the fringe of society, then you're only attracting people who already know there's something wrong. I've said it before, we here know there's something wrong. That's why we're all here sharing and talking about it. But the message that's most important is those involved in the mainstream media that can do various things. I just thought I'd look how that post has done today, and as you can see, it's up to 135,000 views. So it's gone up from 68,000 to that in 24 hours. So everybody has their part in this fight, even if you haven't got any following, even if you're just retweeting or sharing on Facebook or commenting on YouTube, sharing YouTube links. This is making a difference. This is making a huge difference, no matter what anybody says to you. But what we've not got to do is to shoot people down who still have a foothold in the mainstream media, like, say, the Alison Pearsons. Bev Turner is somebody I totally respect. And the reason I respect Bev, she's a good-looking woman. She's one of the most articulate commentators. And she risked it all. If you ever saw that clip where she's on Breakfast TV, where she still had a job there, a very well-paid job on mainstream media, where she said, that it hadn't been tested, there were no long-term results. We know what I'm talking about. And there was two of them. There was Dermot O'Leary and that other geezer, can't remember his name. Really having a go at it. They were bullying her, basically, and calling her stupid because of her opinion. When they were all talking about you should take it to protect others. And then it came out in the EU inquiry some 12 months later that it had never been tested for that job. I'm careful with my vocabulary here. So why I respect Bev, she could have kept a gob shut. She could have stayed on Good Morning Britain. She could have had a lucrative career. She could have, she was a model, still does modelling. But she didn't. She stood up and she did the right thing. She even does extra content on GB News, on their YouTube channel, about all these things that's happened to us this last 3 years. And she does those for free. She doesn't get paid for that part of her job. She wants to be able to do it to get more out on YouTube than what she can say on GB News. So these characters are really important, and it's no good dissing them simply because they've still got a job on GB News or they've got a column in the Telegraph, because Bev has really been an enormous influence with other presenters with keeping cash king, using cash, which is a massive pushback, because obviously it's just some chinless wonder in the Bank of England that decided it would be a great idea. What a wonderful idea it would be if we just all went cashless and we just handled everything through the Bank of England. No thanks, it's my money. I'll have it first. I'll decide who gets it, not you. Because that's the goal at the end of the day. We know where we're heading. But the wheels are falling off the wagon because cash is now prolific, as bank charges and card charges have gone skyrocketing and businesses are turning away from it. So everybody has their place in this fight. It's really important that you understand that, because sometimes I say on the thread you're feeling helpless. Obviously it's different for me because I can go in my analytics on Twitter and I can go in my analytics on YouTube. YouTube provides excellent feedback. And on Facebook. So in the course of a week, I can actually reach 17 million people. That's amazing. That even just astounds me, because I'm no one special. I've not got any, I'm not a journalist or anybody like that. But the thing is, that proves there's a need for some common sense, because that's all I've got to offer. I've got no credentials. I make a load of typos on my presentation because I'm usually busy doing things, probably getting a bollocking off Dave for being on my bloody phone again. So, life goes on, doesn't it? Trying to fit my own stuff in, dash into a Zoom meeting while I've got my washer on. And so if I can reach 17 million people through my platforms in 1 week, I work for a newspaper that had a 5-storey building and 300 employees, happy to reach 37,000 people every night. So when you look, I'm sat here with a phone, I don't have any equipment, I just have a willingness to research, to join Zoom meetings, to go into WhatsApp, find out what people are posting about, find out if it's true, and share it with you. And that's enormous to me. That's a real plus point of social media. And if I get it wrong, if I get something wrong, obviously it's a difficult platform on YouTube because you can't go in and alter it. But if I get something wrong on Facebook or Twitter, as soon as I've found out it's wrong, I screenshot it, I put fake or whatever it is, and I apologise, because I don't want to get it wrong. There's a difference between trying to get it right and being right, and I try to get it right. That's all I've got to offer. But you must remember that in this fight, you are number one. You, watching this now, you are number one. You are not eunuchs. You are not, how do we fight back? We fight back with this, showing people stuff, links you've saved on your phone. If you're talking to someone casually, say, yeah, look at this. You don't get to see that on the mainstream media. That's how we do it. And that's probably why you see me not getting down about it, because I'm looking at my analytics, I'm thinking, oh, wow. And then I times that by people like Lilani Dowding, who'll be getting similar figures to me, and by people like James Melville or Lawrence Fox, who are also getting big figures, bigger than me. So this is all these people being informed. Elon Musk put a tweet out. 77 million people had seen it. That's influence. And he's on our side of the fence. Now, obviously, I think Elon Musk wants us for himself. He's going to create this one-stop shop, isn't he, where you just get everything from Twitter. Is a way to go, mind you. But you shouldn't be getting down about it. It's going to be tough to live under these rules that they're instigating. It's not going to be impossible. And it wasn't going to be much better under the Tories, because both parties are fake. They're presenting themselves as something that they're not. The Labour Party is not for the working man. And if you've got the unions against you and your own voters against you, it's going to be curtains soon, isn't it? And this is just a bit of a treat. This is a caller, just a layman, rings in, LBC. Just listen to what he's got to say about Labour, because he basically nails it.
100 days of Labour have been an unmitigated disaster. I think they've been marked by sleaze, scandal, cronyism and incompetence. But above all, they've been marked by the ideological decision to remove the winter fuel allowance from 10 million pensioners. That has overshadowed everything. Keir Starmer keeps saying that there's a £22 billion black hole in the finances. Yeah, which is why they need to remove 1.4 billion of winter fuel allowance. Yeah, I've just worked out on the back of a post-it note that since July, Labour have spent £70 billion, 22 billion on carbon capture and storage, 11.6 billion on foreign aid, 8.5 billion on GB energy, 7.5 billion on the wealth fund, 3.6 billion to Ukraine, and on and on and on. Matthew, that comes to 68.5 billion pounds. So they are lying, you think, not only about the pensioners, the 10 million pensioners, but also about the thousands upon thousands upon thousands of workers who have lost their jobs. Like Port Talbot Steel in Wales, at Grangemouth in Scotland, at Harland and Wolff. We're talking, and these are disastrous decisions, not to mention 100,000 jobs in Scotland at risk from the ban on offshore oil and gas drilling. Labour are not sticking to Labour values.
Minister, you are having to reset before you hit 100 days in government.
Sorry about that, I'm not professional. Did that bloke nail it or what? Did he say stuff that you've noticed? Did he just go with that list? Matthew, I can't remember his surname because I don't like him that much. And he was the one that was giving Bev Turner a hard time on the sofa in the thing I've just talked about before. He couldn't answer him, he couldn't speak. He was speechless. He was dumbfounded by the credibility of what that layman had just come out with. And we don't know who that is. He's called Daniel. We don't know what his politics are. I reckon he's a bit lefty. And I reckon he's just nailed up what Labour are like. They've pushed everybody away. They've pushed everybody from the lovies, the celebs, apart from Gary Lineker, of course. I mean, he's still brown-nosing. Good grief, that man, he just knows no end. And obviously all the ones getting the £1 million salaries from the BBC, they'll all be quiet. But the great thing is, if that's LBC, that's been viewed 1.7 million times. That's been heard, should I say, because it's not really a visible thing. It's just somebody with a set of headphones on called Matthew going, oh, right, yeah, agreeing with everything the caller said. But that is critical stuff. That is where the message is getting out. So there it is on LBC. I share it on Twitter. I put it on Facebook. More and more people see it. Other people share it. Woo! We have got control here and we've got to utilise it while we can. Because obviously the next thing they'll want to start controlling is social media. The EU were already at it. So this is why you watching this, retweeting, talking, whatever it is you're doing, are making a difference. You're not just idling your time away. It's not like you're watching how to get your lips pumped up like Katie Price, just wasting your bloody time. You're listening to this, you're worried about your country, you're worried about your family, you want things to be better, And we are fighting on a different platform. Yes, people go to demonstrations and take to the streets, but there didn't used to be any alternative, did there? There wasn't any other alternative to getting your message across. And where I see, I think there's a place for demonstrations and rallies. Of course there is, because it's a feel-good factor. But when I see how many people I can reach with a small incidental meme or tweet, I put one up yesterday, 120,000 views in 2 hours. You can't get that sort of reach by going to a march, because the thing, what have we got against us all the time? The mainstream media. If they don't cover it, if they don't cover that rally or that march to the rest of the country, it's not happened. Only the people involved know it's happened. But it had to get this bad. The sad thing is with the Tories, they were bad, but they weren't bad enough, because even when they were in, a lot of people thought, oh, well, you know, why don't do politics? Oh, do you not get up in the morning and brush your teeth and have some cereal and live your life? Because that is politics now. Because the politicians are so far into the life that we lead that they're taking everything away from us. They're deciding whether we want fluoride in our water. They're deciding whether or not we should be taxed on sugar. They think taxing people from things that they like is going to stop them using it. No, it's not. It's going to make them skint, because they're still going to do it, because that's human nature. We are flawed. We don't do the right things at the right time. We're messy. We're allowed to be. We're not supposed to be perfect. We're not supposed to all be stick-thin, non-smoking, vegetarian eunuchs. We're supposed to get on with our life. We're supposed to have a health service that can help us when we've got these things wrong with it. We're not supposed to be penalised because you've been a fagger all your life. You like your cigarettes, or you've been a drinker. You're not supposed to be penalised because of it. And because of the way society's gone, there's a lot of this attacking. I mean, let's face it, I've never smoked. But smokers pay more tax. Smokers pay a horrendous amount of tax in this country. Why are we being taxed to death? Why are our smokers being taxed to death? And why are our smokers being treated like criminals because they're getting their mates to bring fags in from abroad because they're cheaper? Because if you lived in that country like Greece or Spain, you can have them at that price. So why is it criminalised bringing them in? That's the bit that's wrong, because the money-grabbing government has so little money left after they squandered it by giving it to despots in African countries and the Middle East. They've no bloody money left, so they have to come up with batshit crazy ideas to take more and more from us. That's what infuriates me. Not only do the smokers get taxed to death, they get treated as criminals if they try and just buy fags at a better price. That's madness. Utterly madness. Oh, you know, someone's been smuggling cigarettes in. Why? To save tax. So this isn't about whether you smoke or not. This is about how you've got to look at how your government are nobbling you any way they can. And we've got to nobble them back, because we're a bigger number of people, aren't we? There's more of us than there is of them. And the way they're going to bring, you know, what's this new bill? They're going to alter this bill. Toby Young, you know, Free Speech Society put it up. They're going to bring in an alteration. Hang on, I'll read it. Here it is. Toby Young's put it up. The Employment Rights Bill contains a nasty surprise, a clause requiring employers to protect workers from overhearing conversation between members of the public that might upset them. Oh, can you believe it? Can you believe it? So they are in a pub, telling a joke to your mate while you're stuffing a sausage down your neck. And waitress comes round, goes, everything all right for you? Like, she gives the toss. And she overhears you telling a joke she doesn't like. She has to go to her employer and tell her employer, and they've got to protect her. So what's going to happen there? Oh, you know what's going to happen there, don't you? There's going to be training on it. That'll take hours away from the workplace. There's going to be a safe space, no doubt, for them to crawl into, where they get over the fact they've just heard a Bernard Manning joke. We're going like a nanny state. But if you want to cheer yourself up, you should go on Keir Starmer's Twitter page. I love it. I'm always on there. My comment has got 25,000 likes. It's only a comment. So he's there, sat there, you know, another professionally done video. They think they're bloody film stars, don't they? Can you imagine him in a love scene? Oh, God, I can't. Imagine kissing Deadeye. And he's there, sat there, trying to look cash. You couldn't look casual. You couldn't look casual if you dressed up as Wurzel Bloody Gummidge. So he's there telling you what he's done in the last 100 days. The thread, 7,500 comments from various people ripping him a new one. So I just put, oh, great. He's going on about how he's inherited prisons overflowing. So I've put, prisons aren't overflowing now, are they? You're letting us out and jailing tweeters. Pack up, you duffer. I put that on his page. It's 25,000. So Lilani Dowding's even worse. You must stink, the amount of that comes out of your mouth. You just let a whole load of prisoners out. You locked up people who made offensive posts. Under you, the people who beat up the police officers in Manchester haven't even been charged. You're gaslighting, lying. Lilani's a bad bugger, isn't she? Just the way she just lets it rip, and she's got absolutely no filter, and that's why I love her. Anyway, I'll treat you to this. I shared it on Facebook and Twitter. I looked at the insight and I was really amazed to see that 60,000 people had seen it on Facebook. I just made a little poem up about Tutia Keir. There once was a bloke called Deadeye who hid it behind his specs, known for being a soulless who made the country a wreck. He cancelled the winter fuel allowance for those that would need it the most. His policies are upsetting his voters. It's not long before he is toast. He jails those that can type on their phones. The wording will get you in clink. He releases those that fiddle with kids. It makes you think what to think. A communist enthusiast with a cabinet thick as a plank. It's leaders like him that make you think his dad should have just had a... I think you get it, don't you? So there's always a silver lining, isn't there? At least currently, at this stage, we can still rip him a new one on various platforms. He won't read it. Someone will be handling his Twitter page. But the thing is, what do the whips do? The whips wander around, scurrying around, reading the feedback. What's happening in the polls? He's dropped 44 points. That's huge. We are pushing back. It's happening. It's happening.